Okay, so I'll do the introduction then. Welcome, Rob Lindegger. Is that the right pronunciation, Bob? Rob?
Lindegger.
Legger. Okay, and he's been a hotelier, a seaman, a lifeguard, a traveller, a freelance writer, cave dweller, and he's now cycling 25,000 kilometres across Africa. And that sort of CV actually beats David's, because David has had more jobs than hot dinners. So so that's quite interesting. And Rob is actually cycling. Is it 25,000 kilometres, Rob? Is the target? Yeah, 25,000 kilometres across Africa for Pevensey Place, which is a care home for adults with cerebral palsy. And welcome, Bob, and look forward to hearing your story and sharing with us what you'd like for the next 20 minutes, if that's good for you. So if you want to share your screen, then over to you.
Actually, Martin, James, I spent many years running a small hotel in Drumnadrochit.
All right.
Yeah, good part of my life. Yeah, I'm riding through Africa just to, that's me, down at Cape Agulhas. From there I've really ridden just under 2,000 kilometres, 2,300, so I've got a few kilometres still to do. Then we go into there. This is me, Rob Lindegger. That's my lovely Jackie next to me in the photograph. According to my wife, I'm an awkward, stubborn man. I think we all are. I've travelled extensively. I've lived in UK, Europe, and East Africa. 37 years in the hospitality, tourism industry. I retired after we lost the business in Tanzania with 9/11. We had a safari business there. The 9/11 bankrupted us, so we came back to SA. I've been writing since then, freelance writing. My wife, I've always wanted to travel again, and my wife told me I just got to get this hernia for travel out of my system, and then she might accept me again. So that's the plan. Ride up through Africa. You'll see the actual route later on in the slideshow. But the planning started in 2010, so it's been on the go for a while. Our past president of our club, said there's a real need to spread the word. Amazing things that Rotary does in Africa. Millions have been benefited some way or other. So I'm undergoing now to try and create awareness of the work that Rotary does in Africa. I'll be speaking to general people. I'll be trying to inspire students and people to join Interact, Rotaract, and Rotary. Inspiring people my age to get up and do something. It's too easy to sit on the couch and do nothing. Complain about illness and tablets and all the rest. I think the more exercise you do, the better for you, obviously with your own capacity. To get Rotary clubs to interact with each other. I've found in a few of the clubs I've visited already, there's projects going on that could benefit other clubs. A swap shop, libraries, sort of thing. So I've been able to share information that I've picked up from one club and share it with another club. That seems to be working well. Also to raise funds for Pevensey. As Martin said, it's a home for cerebral adults with cerebral palsy. I started a writing club for them, and they enjoyed it. And I've got a lot of self-satisfaction and understanding about how really lucky we are when you see these poor guys and what they go through in life. And also to follow a dream. I've always fancied this idea of riding up through Africa, and I've got to get it out of my system now. So this is a dream that I've got the opportunity to follow a dream. That's me on the bike. The bike is the Kona Africa Bike Project 2. It's the Africa Bike Initiative. For every bike they sell, or every 2 bikes they sell, they give one away to community in Africa or Asia. The bikes are they're built for Africa for rugged use. They can be adapted to pull a trailer for pregnant women or anybody sick. So it can be used as ambulances. Trailers can be adapted to carry food. So the bike is pretty adaptable. And as I say, being used, being built for Africa, I can get parts for it anywhere in Africa. It's a good project, and it'll help a lot of the communities throughout Africa. That's the bike when it came out the box. I got those panniers first, and that didn't work too well for me. So I ended up with that bike there. That's what the bike looks like now. I've named it the Wobbler. It's covered in N polio now stickers. It's about 700 or 800 stickers all over the bike, but it's noticeable. You can't miss it when I go past. I've called the bike the Go For. It's a matter of getting on, falling off, getting on and falling off, which I seem quite apt at. I've got a 3-speed Nexus bike, it's like a motorbike. You can change the gears and the handlebars. I've changed the ratio so that I've got more gears going down. So I've only got 3 gears. I've got more gears going downhill than going uphill rather than on the flat. I presently average about 11 to 15 kilometers a day. Anything faster and I get the wobble, so I'm in no rush. I rushed all my life. I'm taking it easy now. There's only one brake. Oops, sorry, what happened there? There's only one brake on the handlebars, and then there's also a foot brake. Those are the bikes. That's in different locations I've been while I've been cycling. The Naked unloaded the bike itself, weighs 22 kgs, just over 22. I've got 4 panniers, 2 on the back, which take about 8 kgs worth of gear each. I've got 2 in the front. They hold about 4 kgs of gear each. And then I've got a bar bag, which holds just over 2 kgs. And then, of course, the back rack, which holds my tent and water and what have you. With the water, I've been carrying between 2 and 3 up to 5 kgs of water. But from onwards now, going up to Namibia and a couple of these other lots of places, anything from 6 to 10 kgs, depending where I am. Total weight is 60 kgs without me. At the moment, I weigh about 90 kgs, 95 kgs. So I'll be pushing a lot of weight. By the way, I'll probably spend about 75% of my time pushing and 25% of the time riding because of the low gain repair ratio. But as long as I get there. My backup food down there on the left-hand side, I carry peanuts, Chinese noodles, raisins, porridge, spices, Provita biscuits, some pasta sauces, and then tin sardines, and some tea bags. That there will last me between 4 and 5 days. And that is enough time with my planning and the way I've looked at the trip I should be hitting a town every 2 days, every 2 or 3 days. That's ample enough food for me to carry if I even get stuck. As I said, I'll be carrying between 6 and 10 litres of water. Water is my biggest concern, and I've followed a lot of people. I've spoken to a lot of people. There's a lot of guys that have done this trip, and there's a lot of websites. I've been able to pick up a lot of information. My cooker, which is up there, kitchen, is a Whisper Light. It actually works with 4 different types of fuel. It also works with white gas, but I'm able to use petrol, diesel, or kerosene. That's the stove in the front, 2 fuel bottles in the back. That green thing on the top is a collapsible water bucket, 10-litre water bucket, 2 pots, my Gordon's Bay mug, and underneath are some spices in the Tupperware. My water filter, which I'll get on to next, a bit more explanation there. These jig bottles, these are 1 litre jig bottles that I've emptied. I like the shape of them. They're easier to put into panniers. and to store away because of the shape of them. Before he was using round plastic bottles, they're difficult to store. At the top is my tent, my sleeping bag, my ground sheet. It's a one-man tent. It's only weighs what 1.2 kg, so it's really light with the tent poles. Number 2, underneath is my sleeping bag, mattress, tent poles again. I don't know why I got them, and sleeping bag enough for extra warmth at night. 3 is my toiletries. The big red bottle at the back is what I call my pee bottle. At night, if it's cold and whatever, I don't have to get out of my tent. I can just do what I have to in the tent and wash the bottle out in the morning. Right, then the next. If I'm going too fast, you must please tell me. Also know I've got a funny accent. Clothing. I've tried to carry a minimum of clothing. The best is layered clothing, cuts down in bulk, weight, makes life easier for packing, whatever. Here's my full list. 2 pairs of shoes or flip-flops and shoes. Somebody's drawing all over my screen. Socks, it's pretty basic if you go through. I'm not going to read through the whole list, but it's all easy, interchangeable, and light. From here on, I don't expect to get a lot of cold. Probably up in the desert at night, so I'll get a bit cold. But then, as I say, with the layer clothing, I haven't got a problem. I've got a T-shirt on, thermal shirt, thermal pants, and a fleece on top of that. I'll be pretty warm in my sleeping bag. Tools, that's my toolbox there. By the way, the tents, the clothes, it looks a lot, but it's not, believe me. You know, that all packs down into a 2 kg bag, that whole lot. So it's not a lot. It's, you know, it's the size of 2 milk bottles, 2 liter milk bottles. Then we get back to the tools. The tools, again, is it's comprehensive for what I need. Again, it packs down into nothing. My tool bag weighs about 4.5 kgs, 5 kgs, but I've got everything I need there. Again, as I say, every now and then I'll be hitting towns sort of every 2 or 3 days. In Africa, these guys are pretty adaptable and knowledgeable in what they do. It might be basic, but it'll work and it'll stay together. So the box, the tools I've got, they'll carry me pretty far. Using my electrics, cell phone, I've got a solar monkey, which is probably the size of a cell phone. That'll charge, that's a solar panel I can tie to the top of my bike. It'll charge up my phone while I'm riding. My laptop I've got a MacBook Air, 10-inch, 11-inch, shortwave radio for listening to BBC overseas, which I find is probably the most informative. Radio America's, Voice of America is okay, but BBC is always the best. My camera, GoPro, for getting some action videos going and stuff I'll be putting up on my website. I've got 1 terabyte external hard drive, 2 16 gigabyte USB, and 3 32 gigabyte memory data for photographs. So I've got plenty of memories. Battery charger, head torch, adapters for all of the above, a Gorilla camera stand, which is short and easy to tie to adapt to the handlebars so that I can video while I'm riding, and a camera monopod, which I can use as a walking stick as well. These days in America, in Africa, a lot of the internet cafes and connectivity is fairly advanced. So Ethiopia and Sudan might be a bit of a problem, but elsewhere there's not really an issue. That's distance per day speed. Because I'm not a multi-gear bike, only 3-speed, I don't intend on doing a lot of mileage. A lot of these guys these days do between 90 and 120 Ks a day. I'll probably be doing between 40 and 80 Ks a day. Early morning I'll ride for 2 or 3 days, that's 2 or 3 hours. In the late afternoon I'll do the same once it cools down. If it's cool weather, then I'll ride more during the day. So I can do more, but there's no push. At the rate I've planned it, I'll be able to get through each country without a problem. Main concern is security in the evenings. But that's, again, that's just experience looking out for spots. As I travel through towns, if there are Rotarians in the town, I'll be stopping off at Rotarians and visiting clubs and talking to them on the way, visiting their projects and having a chat, and then also hopefully being able to put my tent up in their gardens. My time in each country is governed by the length of the visa. On the right-hand side, you can see the number of kilometers I'll be taking through each country. Next to that is the amount of days it'll take me to get through each country at 40 kilometers. So if I'm doing 80 kilometers a day, that's that time you can half. The maximum I'll get is probably a 3-month visa in some of these countries. So I've got plenty of time altogether. Through Africa, I'll be doing 23,000 kilometers. And then the remainder will be from Gibraltar up to the UK. Through Africa, about 526 days. This is the water bag I was telling you about. It was actually donated to me by Jeffreys Bay Rotary. It's not ideal cyclist choice. It's pretty bulky. But the reason I took it is because I'll be able to hopefully attract sponsors to buy a bag for communities or schools. Each one of these bags has the capability of supplying or producing enough drinking water for 100 people a day, which is large enough for a school or a small community. Each bag costs $50. If you're interested, or if you'd like to sponsor, if you could find somebody to sponsor, let me know and I'll put you in touch with J-Bay, or else you could contact J-Bay yourself. But I think it's a worthwhile project and I know it works. And that's it. Thank you for your interest. It's a self-finance project. Any donations will come in handy. And you could put it through my site, and you can take it from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Can you hear me, Rob?
You're muted, Martin.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start because Martin's muted at the moment. I've got 2 questions. One, you're 90 kilos at the moment. What do you expect to be when you finish?
I don't know. On the way from here to Durban, I'll probably drop down to about 85. No, I don't know. I'll come and see you when I'm in England.
Yeah, because Martin was thinking about going on the same cycle ride, you see.
Yeah, not quite that far.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I'm intrigued. Why do you want 5 meters of nylon cord?
Oh, that's it's like carrying all those Ziplocs, those zip ties I do. You never know. Hold up a tent or hold something together. You never know. It's just one of those things that's there. It's handy.
Okay. Yeah.
Good. Any other questions from anyone at the moment? It's a fascinating sort of ride. What I'd like to know, actually, Rob, is I know you said at the beginning about what inspired you, but that's going to take you quite a long time to do it. So what do? Do you do a little bit and then go home, or do you just carry on and keep going? Or does your wife pick you up in the car a bit later?
Yeah, no, it's one long ride. No, I'm just going through. I've set 4 to 5 years aside from this. I actually left Durban in 2013, so it's taken me 2 years to get from Durban down to here.
Right.
So there's stopped off at clubs on the way and visited different projects and what have you. No.
How safe is it?
I'm just reading John Bishop, who's a British comedian, and he rode from Australia to England, and he was saying that there are large days of boredom with nothing to do. But if you're cycling 45 kilometres a day, was that 45 kilometres a day? That's presumably within that's okay.
Yeah, well, as I say, I'll be cycling on the hot days. I'll cycle in the mornings until about 9 o'clock, and then you start cycling again 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
That time during those times, I've got a bit of time to fill in either reading. Depends where you are. Sleep a lot, read a lot. If it's a village, walk around, meet people, photography. You just got to fill in your time. Yeah. The other thing, as I said, is that one of my concerns now is going through, because when I get to Egypt, originally I was going to go around into the north Mediterranean shore and follow Italy and those countries around to the UK. But now I want to go through Libya, Tunisia, and those countries. My problem now is terrorism. One of them is Libya. And the other one is Ethiopia. But as you go along, you suss it out. There's people on the way. You can always pick up information. And I think it's just a matter of being positive. If you're negative, you might as well sit it down and forget the whole issue. That you've got to keep going forward.
Yeah. Brian, you said you wanted to say something.
Really just
welcome to you. Yeah.
Asking how safe it was, but you've answered some of that. I would personally feel very iffy about going off into Africa on my own in most parts of it.
Yeah. Ryan, my biggest fear was actually cycling from Durban down to here. South Africa hasn't got the greatest name as being safe. I've lived in East Africa and I know what East Africa's like. The mentality is different up there. And I feel a lot safer up there. As again, I communicate daily on email and Facebook with different riders. And you can always pick up where the problems are, which areas to miss out, which areas to skip. And you play by day, country by country. Again, I say, it's, I can't say I haven't got worries about it. But then if I have sincere worries, I might as well sit at home. But, I've got a plan, I want to do it, and that's going to happen. It'll happen.
The other thing, it seems quite incredible. You seem to be able to get the internet everywhere. Oh, we can't do that in England. So.
Well, yeah, the thing is, I don't know what it's like. Well, probably like this in England anyway, but everybody here has got a TV set and a cell phone before they've got a job. It's happening.
Yeah. Norman, did you put your hand up? I think, and yes. Then Keith. Yeah, Norman and Keith.
No, I was interested. I may have missed it, but Rob, why did you?
Why did you breaking up? Eh?
Did you choose Pevensey Place to support?
Did you hear that, Rob? No. Pevensey, as I say, I lived in Underberg for a few years, and I got to know a lot of the people at Pevensey Place, the residents there, through a writing club I started. I was doing creative writing with them, and they're not all capable, but there's some fantastic people there. Welcomes, the welcome every time you leave there, and it's how you're going, and hugs and kisses. And they're all very genuine people. And they do need help. Whoops, you've lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
you. They do need help. They're building new wings and new classrooms, and any little bit comes in handy.
Good. Keith, I think you put your hand up, yeah?
Yeah. Rob, how do the local police view you wandering all over their territory?
Where? How do you mean?
Well, anywhere.
South Africa?
Well, anywhere.
I don't know. As I've said, there's quite a few people that ride and do this route, and there's quite a few people that ride through South Africa or Africa. There's never really been any problems. I think the biggest problems are at the borders. People are asking for backhanders, and it's got to be nice to them and refuse nicely, and hopefully we don't get put in jail. But there's never been any problem. The majority of the people in Africa, people have got this thing about Africa that it's dangerous and wild animals and murdering. And that's what you hear. You always hear the bad news, but the good news you never hear. And the majority of the people that you speak to, these riders, are people that, they say they can't believe the welcome and the happiness of the joy of the people to see a foreigner. Ethiopia is a bit more different. They throw stones at you as you go past the kids. But majority of the time it's good. You get accommodation, they look after you. If you, realize that you're foreign in the country, and they'll help you.
Good.
I'm talking from having spoken to a lot of people.
Yeah. One of the things that I think I missed, because I was trying to sort out, I realised actually that I did speak after you'd finished your talk, but I'd muted myself, so nobody could hear me. So I was listening to myself, which was a very unusual thing, really. One of the questions really is, you've got a route planned. Did you actually show that route? Because I was trying to sort out who was scribbling on your screen, because somebody was scribbling on your screen.
If you want to, we can go there. I can't show you a map.
No.
But I can show you the countries on the screen.
Right.
If you'd like to go back there.
Yes, that would be good. And then I can. Did you actually show it, or was it me? Because I was trying to sort out who was scribbling on your screen.
And that have been me, Martin, probably.
How was it? All right.
I wondered if it was if everybody could see it. I was trying to bring my screen down, and then all these marks came up on it. I thought, well, how on earth is that happening?
All right.
So I apologise for that.
That's all right. It's known as annotation, and I don't know quite why it happened, but hey ho, that's it.
It's gone now, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's great. Thanks. I did sort of see it, but I was concentrated on trying to get scribbles out of the way.
There is a little blue round circle with a pen. And I suspect if you press it, anyone can write on it, no doubt.
Oh, right. Okay.
I suppose, anyway.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So thank you for that. Yeah, if we come back to the screen. Thanks, Rob. That was really quite fascinating. How are you doing that? So do you camp every night then, or do you say you stay in people's houses sometimes?
Majority of the time I'll be camping, but I'll be staying hopefully in towns where there's a Rotary. I'll be staying with them. I'm also a member of 3 networks for cyclists.
Right.
So if there's one of them in the town, they'll put you up for a couple of nights and help you out, and that's an international worldwide thing.
Right. Good. Any other questions from anyone else? Norman?
Yeah.
David?
As a matter of interest, Rob.
Muted.
Right. I've got a question to ask you.
Right. Hang on, shush, David, because Norman's asked a question.
Yeah. As a matter of interest, while I asked the question about Pevensey, we have a link with the Zumat Flying Doctor Service in Zulu-Natal, and we have actually done joint matching projects to support the Flying Doctor Service over the last 5 to 10 years.
Okay.
We have a member who spends 2 months a year in Durban. Hence, that's where I had the mug earlier.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, maybe we can develop some relationships and some thoughts. Sorry to cut you off, David, but it was just 2 people talking at once. So over to you, then, David.
Rob, I'm fascinated because you are 66 and you are of the similar age to most of us on screen, with the exception of Peter and James and Alex, most of us are. What's your motivation? What drives you to do it? Why? I
don't know. You know, I think that's probably the most difficult question. A lot of people, a lot of adventurers, call them that I've spoken to. That's a question that everybody asks them. It's probably the most difficult one. I don't know. It's just something I want to do. It's there in my heart. What I want to do. Get out there and do it. I've always travelled a lot, and I don't know. Really, David, it's just something I want to get out my system. Hopefully, this is the end.
I'd be worried about snakes. I think that's the one thing that really sort of disturbs me. Have you had any close encounters of the sort of snake variety or spider variety, or even the other animals?
No, you get those living in your homes anyway in Southern Africa.
How do you? Oh, great! You know, I'm going to stay in the UK. No, I did look at buying a house in South Africa, but now you've said that, I think I'm definitely staying in the UK. So, yeah. And anyone else got a question before we sort of open it up? Sam, are you? Yeah, Sam. I think you want to say something.
How would you cross the war zones? How would you cross?
Yeah, Sam, again, that's a matter of talking to people. You know, there's war going on in southern Sudan, but the route that I'm taking, it goes through Sudan, but not southern Sudan, and it's a route that's fairly well cycled. There's actually an Irishman that has just cycled that now. He's just cycled from South Africa up through to Ireland. There's a woman that's now cycling down. She's in Tanzania at the moment, and she's just come through there. So that's what I say, you know, you always hear the bad and the negative things about countries. You never hear the good. And there are a lot of good things, a lot of bad things you've got to keep an ear open for. But overall, there's good out there, and there's a lot of goodness that can happen. And I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. Now, yeah, that's why, you know, you get all these people cycling at the moment.
Are you going to be kidnapped?
Sorry?
Are you going to be worried about kidnapped?
I hope not. I hope I'm not kidnapped. I'm not worth anything, but I don't. You know, again, it's if I went into the negative frame of mind, I wouldn't do it. You've got to keep your eyes and ears open and speak to people. And as I said earlier, people are always wary or aware that you are a foreign country, and a lot of these people are good, and they will help you. They will warn you and let you know what's happening.
I think it's interesting that you say that, Rob, because last week we had Luke Beer from Kabul in Afghanistan talk to us, and he was the immediate past president of the Kabul City Club. And I think the most interesting thing that Alan actually highlighted was that it's good to be able to hear good news stories from places that traditionally we actually think are hostile territories. And I think the power of the internet and the power of what we're doing actually, I think, can reinforce the fact that there is another side to the story. Obviously, you have to be careful, but by and large, the good news story is really refreshing, and I think that's helpful. So.
Absolutely. You know, the other thing is that with Rotary clubs in some of these countries, you know, if there's, well, you know, like, you know, talking with you now, if the e-clubs could interconnect,
yeah,
you get a lot more about what's going on in countries, and not a lot of what's the good side of it happening instead of bad.
Yeah, and I think we as a club will connect with your club most willingly. I think that's the beauty of e-clubs, as you say, is that we can actually connect. There's a couple of people who try to talk about it as if we're traditional clubs, where they go, oh, we must twin with another club. I personally don't think twinning actually makes any difference, because with an e-club we can literally connect with. So instead of using the word twinning, I think we use the word connecting. And what we do is we choose the clubs that we connect with, and we keep in touch with them and work that way. I noticed that James has put his hands up to that. So yeah, I think that's the way e-clubs will go.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So any other question? And before we sort of James.
Just one question. What's, as you travel through, there's obviously a perception of Rotary worldwide. What is the demographic of the clubs as you travel through? Are the expats settlers, or are they residents of the countries?
No, they're all residents of the countries. From what I can gather, through Facebook, I've joined up with a lot of. I've become friends with a lot of these clubs, and they're all the residents of the countries. There's not a lot of expats. In Tanzania, we lived in Tanzania for many years, and there's a few expats there, but more the locals. All the locals.
Okay, thanks. One final question from me, and then take any final questions from other people. The final question from me is: I introduced you based on the biography that you put on your blog, and one of the sort of parts of the biography said cave dweller. Now, I presume that was when you were living in Scotland. Is that correct? Sorry, James.
In Cape Town, I was at the Clifton Hotel for a while, and I got fed up with working at the Clifton Hotel, looking at the beaches every day. And there's an Australian guy there by the name of Gary Sleeman, and we got together, we had a few beers one night, and we decided we'd found a cave. We moved into this cave for 2 years. He was a copywriter, and I was diving for crayfish, lobsters for 2 years. Made a lot of money. We had a great time.
Sounds good. Yeah, sounds like you had an interesting life, Bob. So, are there any other questions before we sort of wrap that up? Particularly, no. Okay. If I could call on Peter then to just give the vote of thanks for us, and then we just open the meeting up to try and have a little bit of fellowship.
Again, thank you very much for this, Rob. It's really appreciated. It seems to me something that, the simplest part of that, which is, having to plan 3 days ahead on how you're going to eat, is enough to intimidate most people, without the whole ability of having to carry your life, your keep this bike running so that you can make it to the next place you can buy food in 3 days, is somewhat beyond comprehension, but very admirable. You've then taken this, I don't know, somewhere between whim and passion of yours, and then you're using it to connect Rotary across Africa. You're representing 2 charities while you're doing it. And as whim goes, it's a very respectable one. And I'd again like to join everyone here to join me in passing on our thanks to you for presenting to us tonight. Thank you very much, Rob.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Peter, for that.